I've had a lot of people in the comments over a bunch of different videos ask me to kind of touch on this topic. And I've been putting it off because every time I would like try to get into how I would come at it or how what I would talk about or what I would say, I just would draw blanks. And it's still difficult. When I came home in '02, I had done 2 years. But I still had my entire family. My entire family. I mean, I had lost my grandpa and I had lost people when I was younger and shit, but my mother was around. My close immediate family were there. Same thing when I came home in '09. But for those of you who've been with me throughout these videos, you guys know I did 21 years out of 22 and a half. From 99 to 2019, I was locked up all but 7 months, 9 months, something like that. And then I've been back a few times for PVs and shit. But I knew when I caught that last case that if I got shipped, shit was going to be drastically different this time. I didn't know how, I didn't know why, I didn't know what. I just felt like this was the straw that broke the camel's back. Emotionally and psychologically, it broke me. I stare at myself in the mirror sometimes in awe and in shock that I'm even still here. I was completely done with the penitentiary when I came home in '09. I got railroaded by a bitch. I ain't gonna get back into the subject. And ended up doing 10 years. Now, when you go into the penitentiary after just finishing 9 with a fresh 10, and you're completely in every way just allergic to the penitentiary, you're done. But now you gotta go do 10. I mean, that's a tough hill to climb. So, I'm abusing Ultrams. I'm buying all the hooch and all the liquor I can get my hands on. I'm buying all the weed I can get my hands on. Every day, I'm in a coma. I'm just blitzed out of my mind. Every day. And then after about 4 years into my bit, my mother dies. And I went into this dark depression where it's, same thing. I'm abusing these drugs. And at some point, I had started taking other, like, dilantins. Like, if you eat a bunch of, like, I would just eat stupid shit. Handfuls of stupid. If I couldn't find Altrums, I would eat a handful of dumb shit. And it was just bad, man. It was just fucked up. And then I felt like, I got to Ross. I kind of got into a good bit down there. I had a good job. Like, when I got rolled out to Ross, you got to remember when my mom died, I went from North Central. She died while I was at North Central. I went from there to Lake Erie, from Lake Erie to Belmont, and from Belmont to Ross. I went to 4 prisons within a year and a half. I wasn't right. I was, I look back on that time of my life and it's almost like a dream. It was like I wasn't awake for it, like I was sleepwalking. And so when I got rolled to Ross, because it just seemed like every time I got in trouble, the first time they sent me way up by fucking Erie, Pennsylvania, to Conneaut, Ohio, to go to Lake Erie. And then every time after that, it was just further away. And now my visits are like fucking down to 2 a year. And I just made a deal with myself, like, man, at that time I had like 4.5 years. When I got to Ross, I had like four years to the streets, something like that. And I just really kind of like talked to myself and tried to get myself in order. And it worked. I stopped doing the drugs. I was still smoking weed and shit, but I stopped the drinking and I stopped the pills and I stopped the bullshit. And then my grandpa died. And I didn't slip back. I kind of, I would have my moments and shit, but emotionally I did. I had finally started to dig myself out of this place. And I kind of seen myself starting to slip back. My grandfather died. I had like 15 months left to the streets. And I think that softened the blow. Knowing, and then after you do 10 years, 15 months, when you're down to 50, I was counting months at 18 months. I was counting my time down. And then I come home. And it's kind of like the same thing with prison. Like, your mom's dead, your grandfather's gone, these people are gone, this friend, these people ain't there. But I don't think you can truly understand it until you come home and they're not in your life. They're not a part of your life. Your whole family dynamic is just totally different. And you see it. When you're in prison, you're cut off from everybody anyway. So she's gone, but you don't have that physical relationship anyway. You get what I'm saying? And I think that played a big role in it. I came home and went back to the house I grew up in, to my grandmother's home. And it was bad, man. It was just bad. It was okay at first. And then the biggest mistake you can make is what I did, which is come home and jump straight into a relationship. I'm not going to get into the what's and whys of every little situation that occurred, but I'm bringing baggage to the relationship. I'm still adjusting to being home. I'm still burping up prison food. I'd only been home a week. I meet this chick at a bar and she was super sexy. She was beautiful. She looked the part. She looked like she had her shit together. She spoke like she had her shit together. She acted and conducted and carried herself like you could tell she wasn't from the hood. And but she brought her own decent amount of baggage to the relationship, and kind of she had a lot of insecurities. I'm not an insecure guy. I'm not a controlling, possessive, overbearing type of guy. That's all she's used to. And so I think, I don't know. I don't want to play psychiatrist. It just didn't work, man. I think a lot of the things she was used to that I didn't do made her feel like I didn't care about her, or I wasn't into, it just got weird. And then I isolated, for the first 6 months I was home, I would catch myself just sitting in my room. If I wasn't out doing something out of the house, I was always in my room because I was so used to being in a cell. Or like it's hard to explain, man. It's very hard to adjust when you get home. And the last thing you should do is to jump right into a relationship. We lasted 5 years. I don't know how. The last two times I got, well, all three times I got violated were for her, over her and her mouth. Uh, the first time, which is when I should have walked, was we had gotten into an argument. She was drunk, and I don't even remember. It was something stupid. Like, this girl would like create scenarios in her head. If I did something that she didn't understand or didn't have an answer for, like if I told her I was gonna run to the corner store and I'll be back in 10 minutes, and I come back in 15 minutes, she thinks in that other 5 minutes I went and fucked some chick. Seriously. And then not only that, for the rest of our relationship, if that situation happened 3 years ago, for the final 3 years of our relationship, I heard about that every time we argued. Well, that one time when you went to the store and it took you 15 minutes, and I know you went and fucked that bitch. Such and such told me. Shit like that. Like, she was psycho. And so she got to cutting up my clothes. And I called the police. Not on her. I just called the police. I asked for help. And I told the 911 operator, I said, listen, I'm on parole. I just came home from prison. No crime has been committed. I've been drinking. My girlfriend's drunk. We're arguing. She's cutting up my property, my clothes. I don't have the tools to deal with this. Can you send somebody out here to help me? Nobody ever came. We ended up going to sleep. We stopped arguing. Fuck, everything was fine. We went to sleep. We woke up the next day. Checkout was at 11. We round up all our shit. And we go to leave. As we're pulling out around to the front, I got to go get our deposit back and turn in the key. There's a sheriff deputy SUV. And as soon as I get out of the car and I walk through the first door, they kind of look back when they heard the door, and the manager who the police were talking to pointed at me, basically saying, that's him. So they were obviously looking for me. Or us, I should say. And the one officer kept me inside. The other one went outside, asked me what was going on. I explained to them everything I just explained to you. They handcuffed me and they said in Wood County on a domestic violence. They was going to look at it as a domestic violence call because she had a bruise on her leg, which she didn't say I put it there neither. The cop seen it. She told the cop I didn't put my hands on her. She said she was the aggressor. She said all that. And they arrested me because of my record. And that's what he told me. In Wood County, on a domestic violence call, somebody has to go to jail. And with my record, it's going to be me. The second time, it was a Walmart situation. This lady kind of cut in front of us. There was one self-checkout aisle left. And we were going to it. And this lady blew in front of us and kind of clipped our cart. And she was in the wrong. But my chick screams out, "You ain't got to be rude, bitch." And so, of course, that's going to start a fight. And I'm trying to break it up for 10 minutes. And the dude she was with and the lady she was with starts getting involved. And they're all barking. And once the dude got involved, I get involved. Walmart trespassed that family. We didn't even get in trouble. The police got called. But when they got there, Walmart told them that other family started the shit and they were the aggressor. But that other family, scared in the situation, said that I flared up. And I ended up, not that day. Once the report came across my PO's desk, I went to jail. And, it's just, you got to choose wisely, I guess, but that's hard to do. You don't know. I would just say, I wish a lot of things I could take back. But the biggest thing that I wish is that when I came home this time, I had given myself at least 6 to 9 months of just me being single, free in the world. I think maybe even a year. I mean, obviously, you're going to want to get some pussy and shit like that, obviously. But just make it that, is what I would say to the guys who have messaged me telling me they're about to go in. Make it that. I got a lot of regrets in my life. And one of the biggest ones is not being there when my mom died. And I gotta live with that for the rest of my life. And I'm not gonna beat myself up about it anymore. But that's still something, that's still big to carry, So the best advice I could give to anybody, man, is kind of just get your shit together and avoid prison altogether. Especially to the kids, the young people watching. Because eventually, we take everything for granted when we're young. We have everybody. We have everything. And one day, before you know it, and everybody says it happens in the blink of an eye, trust me, it does. You're going to wake up one day and be like, where did it all go? Trust me, because I have. So thanks for tuning in, man. I hope I didn't bore you guys with the emotional one or anything like that. I just had a bunch of people asking me about this topic. If I was bland or not too in depth, maybe it's because I just ain't kind of ready yet. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, man, if you like the video, please share it and hit like and subscribe to the channel if you're a new viewer, man. So until next time, y'all, stay safe. It's the Hoodie, man. I'm out.